Hey there, I'm John.
And I'm Josh.
We're going to be talking to you guys about week 2 of the college football season. So this is our preview of what's coming. And I thought we would sort of look at the AP poll in terms of the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ish teams. Those will be the main ones. We're going to start with Georgia, number 1. Not a surprise. You know, they came off a strong win, not surprisingly. And, you know, I think the stat is 45 straight regular season wins against teams not named Alabama.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of wins. I mean,
That's
Georgia.
a lot of wins.
I predicted that they could potentially be upset last week. Obviously, I was very wrong. Not even worth mentioning. I mean, they're playing Tennessee Tech, so it really doesn't matter who they're playing this week. But they're definitely number 1 until proven otherwise, right?
That's right.
Their defense is phenomenal.
That's right.
Their offense doesn't really have to do that much, but they're still decent
But they're good.
as well.
You know they're good. Yeah. Then we have number 2, Ohio State. They're number 2. They have a great combination between Will Howard and Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
They're just dynamic. They're good players. We're going to see how that plays out.
Yeah. I want to see them dynamic against a good team.
That's right.
Right, which we haven't necessarily seen yet. But I do agree, both talented players. Western Michigan, no.
Yeah.
Not even worth mentioning.
Nope. Then you have number 3, Texas. They're going to be at number 10, Michigan. Now it's gotten a little more interesting.
Yep.
So what are you expecting with this one?
I expect Texas to win, but
I do too.
I do think it'll be closer than what Michigan probably, especially with their performance against Fresno State last week, very close until like the final 3 minutes. I think it'll be closer because of Michigan's defense. I mean, Quinn Ewers is very talented, and obviously Michigan's quarterback, Warren, had like maybe 130 yards or something, just a very small amount. So Michigan's offense, to win this game, Donovan has to be able to run, Warren has to be able to throw. I predict Texas to win.
Yeah, and this seems like the more interesting game of the week.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I believe it's game day.
Yeah. And then a repeat of South Florida at Alabama. So last year, this was a concerning game for Alabama, and you know they were still trying to figure out the quarterback situation last year. Milroe didn't even play in the game.
You say concerning, yes. So 17-3.
Yeah.
In a hurricane. I mean,
okay.
To me, when it's raining that hard in a football game, all bets are off, right? Anybody can win, because at that point, your quarterback's really not going to be very useful. It's just running, and even running at that point when it's that slippery because of the rain. So is there a repeat from last year? Remember, Alabama first-year head coaches do like to lose to group of 5 teams, but not this team.
Yeah. And then number 5 is going to be Notre Dame, and I think they earned that after last week's win over A&M. And so, you know, I think they shouldn't have a problem this week because they're playing Northern Illinois.
Yeah, you know, Northern Illinois used to kind of be the kind of an upset type team. Yeah. So maybe they have a little magic in them.
I'd be really surprised here if they did that against Notre Dame.
I know Notre Dame's like 28-point favorites.
Yep.
We'll see.
That's
we'll see. They win for sure. I don't know if it's by 28 points.
So, do you think this next one is actually interesting or not?
I know NC State really didn't look great week 1, and Tennessee's quarterback has looked really good.
Nico, whatever his last name is.
I mean, like, Tennessee, I'm curious when they come to SEC play what they're going to look like. Yeah. I think they probably handle NC State really well.
That's my guess here. I know NC State also has a really strong receiver and also a running back who got a lot of yards in the last game. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Tennessee's defense does with that. But also I'm expecting Tennessee to win it pretty handily.
Me too.
The next one, you know, Auburn won last week. You know, they were playing what? Alabama A&M. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, no surprise. You know, of course, they blew them out of the water. So Cal is going to face them. It's going to be at Auburn.
Is this year 2 or 3 for Hugh Freeze? I know
3.
Okay,
right?
He's gotten a little bit of momentum under his belt. We've obviously seen him have success at previous teams, right? I do think the longer he's at Auburn, the more dangerous they'll become. Yeah. So I think Auburn handles this game. I think they need to, especially, you know, if they have some dark horse expectations in the SEC to at least be able to compete. This is a must-win, right? California is not that great with football.
That's right. That's right. The next one, I didn't know how much we should mention it because last week South Carolina sort of struggled.
Yeah. It's Old Dominion, by the way.
Come on, Beamer.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be playing Kentucky. My thought is that I have no reason not to think that Kentucky is going to control this game.
Yeah, let's remember. I mean, Kentucky is going off of a high last year, or honestly, last couple of years. They haven't been the bottom dwellers of the SEC like they have in times past. So I kind of like Kentucky in this game, and it's kind of, especially their defense. It's kind of been fun to watch Kentucky succeed the past couple of years. So.
Yeah, South Carolina, if you're going to show your stuff, this is the week to do it, to show up. So the next one.
This to me is one of the most interesting games.
It is interesting, which is so weird to say that either of these teams are playing an interesting game. But you got Colorado at Nebraska, and so you got Prime, and his team's going to be facing Nebraska. What does that mean?
So Colorado obviously coming off of their, some would say, disappointing game against North Dakota State, which is honestly admirable if you're going to schedule an FCS opponent to schedule North
Probably
Dakota
one of the
State.
best.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Nebraska has a true freshman quarterback coming in, and he just looks really good right now. I think his name's pronounced Raiola.
Yeah.
I could be mistaken there, but he looks so good. So I think this is just a very interesting matchup, especially in terms of offense versus offense. I think I might lean towards Nebraska winning, but just a true freshman is still a true freshman, right?
True.
I mean, one or two hits, and obviously we know Colorado has talent, right, across the board.
At least
so.
4 or 5 players.
Yeah.
Talented.
Yeah. So
the rest I'm not so sure about, but yeah.
I mean, Travis Hunter.
Oh yeah.
He's probably licking his chops at the idea of playing against the true freshman quarterback.
That is true.
And he's so fun to watch. I mean, Travis Hunter. So who knows what he'll do in this game? But that alone is a reason to tune in. Sanders, Raiola, Travis Hunter. There's some firepower there.
All right, let's switch gears a little bit and let's focus on the group of 5.
Yeah. So
what do we got going on?
I listed this as what I think are the top candidates now that there's a playoff spot for a group of 5 team to make that playoff spot.
Okay.
And they're actually all happen to be in different conferences. So Boise State at Oregon, number 7 Oregon, who just came off of the tough game against Idaho.
Yeah.
Boise State just came off against a scoring fest against Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
Hot game. We were there. Brutal. I mean, it was so hot.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, nighttime game, 9 p.m. at Autzen Stadium. Ashton Jeanty versus Dylan Gabriel, 2 Heisman candidates, right? Man, my heart of hearts, I want to say Boise will win, but I know deep down it's just very unlikely. So I think they'll cover the spread, which is 18 points right now. So I think it'll be closer than that.
Mm.
And as a Boise fan, I believe that they can win. I do think it'll be an uphill battle from the very
This is going to be one of those late night West Coast games, isn't it?
So late, yes, so late. I mean, here we don't have to stay on it for too long, but here's my thought process. If Ashton Jeanty can run, and if we can keep our offense on the field long enough, right, limit Dylan Gabriel's ability to absolutely torch our very poor secondary, that's our success, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully Dubar is healthy. Sire Gaines, obviously, true freshman, 17-year-old, is incredible. So we don't have to exclusively rely on Ashton Jeanty. But if we have to go out there and throw the ball to win, I mean, I think Mad Dog or Maddox Matson is a great quarterback. But in an environment like Oregon Stadium, right?
Yeah, it'd be tough.
We need to score quick. We need to score fast, take the crowd out of the game. We'll see what happens.
And then grind it.
Yes, take as long as you can, right?
Yeah.
The biggest key or biggest plus on Boise State's side is Dirk Cutter really is just absolutely incredible at play calling.
Yeah.
And I do trust him, and he'll be our best chance to win this game.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then Troy is going to be at Memphis.
Yep. So Memphis, obviously, top candidate to get that group of 5 spot. It's actually going to be a really tight race this year. There's some really good group of 5 teams. I think Memphis handles Troy easily.
Yeah.
Especially after Troy's performance against Nevada, kind of a collapse there at home. So Seth Hennigan, Memphis' quarterback, super talented, watched some of his highlights of, obviously their last game wasn't against anybody that great,
Yeah.
but he had made some really good throws there. So I think Memphis looks good against Troy.
Okay. Then you got Liberty, who's also has a shot here,
Yeah.
right? For a change, and so they're going to be at New Mexico State. So your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, so I mean, remember Liberty won. They were the Group of 5 team in the New Year's Six appearance last year. The easiest schedule possibly of all time. I mean,
True.
like it's so bad. The people are saying Boise, Memphis could lose 1 or 2 games and still potentially make it over an undefeated Liberty.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to see a repeat of Liberty, Oregon last year, right?
No.
So to me, I just want it. Obviously, I'm a Boise fan. I want Liberty to lose. They're not going to lose to New Mexico State.
Yeah.
Caden Salter, Quinton Cooley, arguably one of the better quarterback running back combos, at least in the Group of 5, if not the country. So Liberty handles New Mexico State.
Okay. And the final one of these is the App State's going to be at number 25 Clemson. Number 25 Clemson. How they've dropped.
So I
Can they
have one
win
more.
it?
I have one more Group of 5 team that we'll mention,
Okay.
right?
Oh yeah.
And that will be in my upsets.
Yeah.
But I do think App State has a chance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Clemson.
They're probably licking their chops after the
Debo
this
is
last
obviously
week.
not with the times in
No, he's
NIL.
not.
We talked about
Yeah.
that last week.
or transfer. He doesn't do any transfers.
Yeah, and App State, I mean, they're a decent team.
Yeah.
So, and this is their chance, right? App State, Boise, and we'll talk about Tulane here in a second. This is their chance to solidify themselves as one of the top teams in the Group of 5.
Yeah.
I think App State has a solid chance to beat Clemson.
Okay.
Number 25 Clemson.
All right, so it's upset time. Let's talk about that.
I'm telling you, I feel so much better about this week's picks than last week. I'm actually being smart, being intelligent, not just going on limbs here. Number 17, Kansas State at Tulane. I really do think Tulane can beat Kansas State.
Okay.
I think I'm in the minority here. Apparently, a lot of people are pretty high on Kansas State, but Tulane's offense is firing, phenomenal. Obviously, we saw them last year. They were a great team, good coaching, although they lost some of that. But I think Tulane can come in here and stun Kansas State.
Good. I'm interested to see how that goes because I don't really know much about Kansas State yet. They're ranked 17, so we'll see what that looks like. So then we have Arkansas is going to be at number 16, Oklahoma State. And so
Yes.
I'm assuming you're picking Arkansas.
I am picking Arkansas in this one. Taylon Green, former Boise State quarterback, versus Ollie Gordon, who is maybe the second or third best running back in the country, obviously behind Ashton Jeanty. But Oklahoma State has a lot of expectations on them this year. Arkansas probably not so much, but I just kind of like the matchup here. I think if Taylon Green can get outside of the pocket and kind of make some plays, keep things alive, I think Arkansas actually has the SEC-style defense that might be able to slow Ollie Gordon down enough that Arkansas wins this game.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We will see very soon. This weekend's coming up. And so join us following the weekend.
Go Broncos.